This is the podcast that rocked, weekly podcast that talks about news in the world of rock, metal, alternative, and everything in between. My name is Luke, host of the YouTube channel Rocked, and Corey Taylor has called out former WWE champion Randy Orton in the best way possible through TikTok. Technically through all socials, but I just wanted to say through TikTok. Corey Taylor, who has his own solo album, his second, CMF2, coming out later this year, and a solo tour, along with running on a Slipknot tour, has been a busy man. However, that did not keep him from wishing well to Randy Orton, who is returning to the ring after a long hiatus due to back injury. Corey had this to say.
That's right, I got something to tell you, Randy Orton. You think you're gonna come and get this belt from me? You got another thing coming. You may be the strongest fucking opponent. Come this time tomorrow, MSG, Madison Square Garden. We about to get down, motherfucker. Yeah!
Kind words from the longtime wrestling fan Corey Taylor, who has had his own history with NXT, and definitely will try to attack Randy Orton. I promise it'll happen. Side note, Corey Taylor, if you're listening, feel free to ever attack me on video all you want. I'll make you look like $1 million. I wanted to start out with some more cheerful news because some of the biggest news that happened this past week was truly tragic. Polaris guitarist Ryan Siew has died at age 26. This came a few days ago and is as tragic as it sounds. 26 is way too young. He's been with Polaris for 10 years. He was known for putting up so many of his own guitar solos and playthroughs of other songs, including Periphery. He was a big Harry Potter fan. He had so many other things going on about him right now. And at 26, the band had to post this for his well-wishing to the beyond. It is with shattered hearts and the deepest sorrow that we will tell you our dear brother and bandmate Ryan Siew passed away on the morning of Monday, June 19th. He was 26 years old, and for 10 incredible years, he was our best friend and artistic soulmates. Those years will never be enough. He was kind-hearted and clever, he was funny and brave and creative, and he was talented beyond all measure. Don't know what's going to be next for Polaris. I really just hope they can get through something like this with the family and friends of Ryan Siew. Condolences to everyone involved. Again, 26 is way too young. In some side project news, Volbeat's Michael Poulsen has launched a new death metal band called Asinhell and released a new song and announced an album. This has been a fully fleshed out project, and I have to say the new song Fall of the Loyal Warrior is definitely on par with doing death metal. This is very impressive. Was not expecting this from the rockabilly style band of Volbeat, but Michael Poulsen is a multi-talented instrumentalist and singer. I'm definitely willing to bet he has more creative ideas and thoughts than people give credit, and this is something that I'm kind of glad seeing musicians try out, something very out of their wheelhouse, but able to execute. You can find more information on rock.net as well as all the Volbeats and Michael Poulsen's social media. You can find the new song from Asinhell on YouTube as well. We'll be playing it on New Music Night. Up next, I don't know, 21 Pilots, one of those guys going death metal. That'd be perfect. In festival news, we talked about Glastonbury and Guns N' Roses getting a little bit of ire from one of the Gallagher brothers for headlining one of the nights. Well, now many people are giving Guns N' Roses ire for headlining one of the nights, but for a very different reason. Guns N' Roses had everything in line to make a fantastic performance on the middle of night of Glastonbury, and it didn't go that well. They even had Dave Grohl come out and play drums for one of the songs. The problem? Axl. Axl apparently had a lot of sound issues. He blamed BBC for the sound issues themselves on the technical side. However, many people are saying that while some did say it was good, other people said it was definitely rough. As we all get older, we all sound a little bit different. Our voice can't keep up as the same way it was. But yeah, many artists and bands are having good performances at Glastonbury, but it didn't work out for Axl and Guns N' Roses. And he's calling out anyone that's saying the performance was bad. Some outlets said it was okay, like NME, but yeah. It's not looking great for Axl, who has had some very hit and miss performances with Guns N' Roses over the last few years. His voice just not holding up as well. To be fair though, it sounds like it did start on time. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but the last time I saw Guns N' Roses, it was 45 minutes delayed because Axl had to be helicoptered in, had to make a big flashy performance. And yes, it sounded awful. For those of you who were a bit confused or on the fence about Avenged Sevenfold's latest album, Life Is But a Dream, or flat out hated it, that's okay according to M. Shadows, who said, it's okay to hate this record. There's no right or wrong answer. It's not really our job to figure that out. It's just our job to put out something that we totally back and we appreciate. That's a fair statement coming from a musician who said he was influenced by hallucinogenics to make this album. He says it's okay if you don't like it. This is the first album in 7 years as well, so to say that with the ongoing tour coming up, at least it looks like that he's aware that that people were not going to receive this with open arms, but they embraced it anyway. I, for one, was pleasantly surprised with some of this, even though some of it was definitely awkward, to say politely. I will say Life is But a Dream had some shining moments. I think it also suffered from pretty rough singles. We Love You is the weakest of the album. There was much better on there. That being said, I also get it if you don't like it at all. If it's not for you, I still think Avenged Sevenfold has a lot of material that's great. I still also think Avenged Sevenfold's going to do fine live. That being said, don't know how many of those songs are going to translate well to a live performance. If they try to do the God sequence live, I'm not sure that's going to get the reaction people want. It won't be boos or people hissing or throwing stuff. It'll probably just be confusion and weird looks and people just looking at the ground, either bored or confused again. Finally, we're going to talk about Billboard Mainstream Rock's Top 3 of the Week. Each week, we try to cover the top 3 songs that are blessing and or plaguing rock airwaves. And there has been a slight change. Staying static at number 3 is Jelly Roll's Need a Favor. Going down to number 2 is Rescued from Foo Fighters after a long reign at number 1. And coming in at number 1, Metallica with the title track, 72 Seasons. I would be okay with this, but this also proves that, Billboard's kind of behind the times. 72 Seasons was out before the album, at least. And man, oh man, a song like this definitely doesn't do as well for Billboard and rock stations, FM, even satellites. However, it's Metallica, so Billboard and FM radio will drool over it. That's been the podcast that rocked for this week. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members. Special thanks to Brandon Bruce, Chris Doman, and Dom Noble. You can check Dom Noble out on YouTube, covering all your literary and film adaptation, reviews, and much more, covering a lot of stuff with some big things coming up Game of Thrones style. If you're a wrestling fan, you can check out Wrestling Soup on YouTube and all your favorite podcast forums. That's Wrestling Soup, covering the wild world of what goes on inside the squared circle and behind the scenes. Sometimes what's going on backstage is much more exciting than going on inside the ring. And if you're a fan of stupid human news, think Florida Man, check out Radio Dead Air from Nash, that's Radio Dead Air on YouTube, every week covering some of the terrible things in society, proving that humans are not worthy of society. Thank you again for listening. Keep sharing out the links. I'm currently petting a cat named Pearl, named after Pearl Jam, reminding you that all animals named after bands or musicians are inherently smarter than other animals.